Would you like to know the 3 most common mistakes when women are trying to clear the HPV virus? I share this as someone who's been helping thousands of women from around the world for more than 24 years. And when in that process, what I do is I observe what are women doing that are able to clear the virus and what are women doing who are not yet clearing the virus. And through that process of observation, I'm able to really see what works and what doesn't work. And of course, it's always individualized. Each of us is an individual, and each person's body may have different requirements to support their immune system to clear the virus. Because the fact is, well established in research, that the human body can clear the HPV virus to negative and keep it negative even if you are exposed again in the future. The body can protect you. So the question becomes, if the HPV virus is not going away, why is it not going away? And that's one of the first clarifications that I always make, is to ask that question. Why is it that your immune system and your body is not protecting you from this virus? And when we ask that question, we can dig deeper into understanding what it is that you need to do to be successful at clearing it. So the first mistake or missed opportunity that I find when I'm reviewing cases is that women are not taking specific, effective clinical doses of supplements, vitamins, herbs, and other supplements. And they're also not making specific individualized dietary changes. And this is very important to know, because it's very easy to go out and make some general changes. In fact, many women who come to see me will say, I eat healthy. I consider myself a health nut. I choose healthy foods and I eat my vegetables, or I have a protein shake and I exercise and I'm taking my supplements. And so they say to me, why is it that this virus won't go away? So I, as a naturopathic doctor, clinical nutritionist, start looking more closely. And when I look more closely, that's when I can see that a lot of cases, they have not yet done a food sensitivity panel, which is something that I offer through my office. A very high sensitivity food sensitivity panel that looks at IgA and IgG antibodies. I know that there's a lot of food sensitivities tests out there in the US and the world for that matter, but they're not all accurate and they're not all helpful. So I really recommend to do a test that's going to give you the best information, which is what we offer through my office. When we get those test results back, we can see which foods are inflammatory to your system. And if you're eating a food that's inflammatory, it's going to throw off not just inflammation in your gut, but it's going to increase inflammation in the vagina as well, making you more susceptible to HPV. So we need to know which foods, and it could be different from another person. Now, yes, it's good to make some dietary changes, reducing sugar and some that you've heard me talk about before in different videos. So you can start with some general diet changes. However, if the HPV is not going away, we need to get more specific and dial in your diet to your body and understand if you are reacting to certain foods, that's an indication of foods that you eat all the time. That's an indication that you also have leaky gut or intestinal permeability. And we need to address the intestinal permeability as well. Not just remove foods and restrict your diet, but actually make sure you're getting adequate nutrition, adequate nutrients, and at the same time heal the intestinal lining. In that process, that's what makes a huge difference. So we need to be really fine-tuning the diet based on your body and your food sensitivities. We also need to be fine-tuning your supplements, your nutrients, your herbs based on your body. Now, when it comes to nutrients, there's certain tests we can do, even in regular blood work, to find out if you have certain nutrient deficiencies. Then we're going to want to make sure and address those nutrient deficiencies. Otherwise, we may then be using more clinically effective doses of nutrients. This is not what you're going to find when you do a search on the internet, because clinically effective doses are not able to be put on websites. That's information that you're only going to get in a clinical nutrition textbook or clinical nutrition class, which is what I've completed, many of them over the years. So that's what's you're looking for is you need to be working with a clinical nutritionist who can give you the clinically effective doses that are safe, non-toxic, and yet effective. Even with herbs, I see many supplements out there that are intended to help with HPV, but when I look at the doses, not only are the nutrient doses too low, but the herbal doses are also often too low, and they're not prioritized enough. We need to be able to create a really strategic protocol of herbs and nutrients, not just a handful that sound good and maybe have some research on them. Yes, I look for research, but I also look for what's effective and makes sense for this person's body. And so we need to be much more strategic with our choosing of different herbs and doses and combinations. And to me, that's a huge miss. Many times, the simple thing I do is go through a person's supplement protocol and help them tweak until we get it fine-tuned to be the most effective supplements that you can be taking to help protect yourself from HPV. The second most common, we might say, blind spot or missed opportunity when it comes to working to clear HPV is not addressing the root causes in your body. A lot of times people think, oh, this is just a matter of taking a mushroom extract, or this is just a matter of taking, one or two vitamins, vitamin C or folate. Yes, vitamin C and folate and even AHCC are important and effective. However, it's often not enough. So if you've already been doing that and they're not clearing HPV yet, we need to be looking at what I call the 8 underlying root causes of HPV. Because again, most all of us, research shows over 75% of us are exposed to the HPV virus by the age of 50. So if we're most all exposed and the human body can clear the virus, and yet for your body, the virus is sticking around and potentially causing abnormal cells, we have to be asking why. What is it about the environment in your system that's allowing the virus to remain and not clear it, not kick it out of there, right? And when we start asking that question, and sometimes it's a vulnerable question because maybe we're thinking, hey, I feel good. I think I'm doing everything right. How could there be anything that's not helping me fend off this virus, right? So it can be a vulnerable question, but it's a very important question to ask in a non-judgmental way. And say to yourself, hey, what else might be out of balance in my whole system, mind, body, spirit? It goes everything from effects of stress. When we're exposed to stress, and of course, as humans, we're all exposed to stress in life. Most all of us have a history of traumatic stress, even in our childhood, that carries through that susceptibility into adulthood unless we take some steps to recover from it. Did you recently get an abnormal pap smear result and test positive for HPV? Then I'm here to help you. I'm Dr. Donnie Wilson, naturopathic doctor and midwife, and I specialize in helping women to address abnormal pap smear results and clear HPV to negative. I would love to invite you to join me for my next free online workshop called Secrets to Clear HPV. In the workshop, you're going to learn all about HPV, what your pap smear results mean, about the myths that might be working against you, and the first 5 things that I recommend that you do to help your body clear HPV. You can join this workshop from anywhere online, and you can also be anonymous. Just go to hpv.drdonnie.com, that's DOCTORDONI.com, or click the link down below, and I look forward to seeing you there. So stress, what happens is it, of course, disrupts our stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline. And when cortisol and adrenaline are either too high or too low, they disrupt our digestion, causing leaky gut, disrupting our gut microbiome and our vaginal microbiome. Then we end up with infections and maybe we have to take antibiotics, and that further disrupts our microbiome. So this is just starting to help you see how we unravel these underlying root causes. We need to be looking at the stress hormone levels. We need to be looking at gut health, leaky gut, microbiome. We need to be looking at also the vaginal environment. Have you had bacterial vaginosis or yeast? Is there inflammation? Do we need to start healing the vaginal environment so it can better protect you? Do we need to be looking at hormone imbalances, whether that's estrogen, progesterone, testosterone imbalances, and or even thyroid and insulin blood sugar imbalances. They all can make you more susceptible to HPV virus, let alone neurotransmitter imbalances, and even on an emotional level, especially again, if you've been exposed to trauma or abuse, including narcissistic abuse and toxic relationships, all have been shown to increase risk of HPV and cervical cancer. So we need to help you recover from that. These are not things that we're stuck with, right? It's important to identify and then address. And the thing is that most practitioners are not trained in how to address these things that I've just been listing. That's why it's so important to work with a practitioner like a naturopathic doctor, someone like me who's been trained in and figuring out how to help address these issues, not just one, not just a little bit, but in concert with each other so that you can heal your whole system, including things like detoxification. If you've been exposed to toxins, whether mold toxins, environmental toxins, these can also increase risk of HPV. So we need to do careful detoxification processes. And this also affects what's called methylation, which is how your body uses B vitamins for good things like creating healthy cells. So we need to be evaluating methylation, including genetic variations that affect methylation like MTHFR. So these are all examples of the 8 root causes of HPV that need to be addressed in a systematic way based on your body. And we can do that by doing specific testing that helps us to find out what your root causes are and then guide you through protocol to address those root causes in a very systematic way so that you can be successful at not only protecting yourself from HPV, but protecting yourself from a lot of other health issues at the same time. Now, the third most common mistake or missed opportunity, something that is just in that blind spot where you just weren't quite aware that even needed attention to help you clear HPV, is actually healing your relationship with yourself. And this is something that I can't tell you how many times it's not at the forefront, right? We're thinking, oh, this is a virus in the vagina. I need to be paying attention there. And yes, we do. We do. However, we have to remember that the vagina is part of our whole body. The vagina is also connected in with emotionality, spirituality, and if you look at the chakras of the body, for example. And what we see, what I find, and this is through, again, observing thousands of cases, is that women report a disconnected feeling from themselves. They are often actually almost in a emotional battle with themselves and often criticizing or even ridiculing themselves for getting into the situation of testing positive for HPV. And unfortunately, a lot of them have even been told by medical professionals that this is their fault that they have HPV. And ultimately, I really think this needs to change because women should not feel that it's their fault. Women are human. Humans have sex, and humans get exposed to HPV. So it's not your fault. It doesn't mean there's something wrong or that you did something bad. It simply means that you're human, and it simply means that we need to help your body heal. And so when you start to realize that, then you can gain some acceptance for yourself as a human, forgiveness for whatever happened in the past, and that ability to increase your sense of self-love and acceptance so that you can, instead of working against yourself in this internal battle of criticism, you can actually start to work with yourself and with your body to help your body heal. And this is a process that I find works best with starting to teach you mind-body techniques to start to take deep breaths and check in with your body, listen to the messages your body's sharing with you, and start to build your ability to connect with yourself each day, each and every day, and especially in moments of stress, so that you can help yourself navigate through the stress and still make choices that are in alignment with your authentic self. And instead of worrying about what everybody else thinks, because a lot of times with HPV, women do worry. They feel they can't talk to anyone about it and they feel very isolated. So in this situation, you now have yourself to count on and believe in, and are less focused on what anybody else is going to think. And to start to feel empowered that yes, you can heal from HPV. You can clear this virus and you can protect yourself from it into the future. And you can do that. Part of it is by taking this as an opportunity to really heal your relationship with yourself. And sometimes that requires some forms of psychotherapy. That might be an option for you. Processing of post-traumatic stress, processing of potential abuse in your past, even entheogens and other mind-body techniques like meditation have been profoundly helpful to my patients along the way. So I really want to emphasize this because, again, it's a third most common thing that's missed in this path, this journey to clearing HPV virus. I wanted to share a success case with you. This says, I'm thrilled. It's everything I wanted and so quickly. I made the diet changes based on the food panel you suggested and started taking the supplements at the doses you recommended. And already my pap smear is at negative. The CIN2 went away. The HPV is negative. And now I'm pregnant with the baby that I've been trying for so many years. This is at age 44. Because the fact is that when we implement this type of protocol, it actually improves fertility. And so if some of you are wanting a future pregnancy, this is the perfect opportunity to clear HPV so that you don't have to worry about it during pregnancy and prepare yourself and improve your chances for pregnancy at the same time. So this is a kind of things that I'm seeing in my work, and I'm here to share that with all of you because I don't want you to be trying things and then thinking, oh, why is this not working for me? 3 months later, 6 months later, 12 months later, if you're like, why isn't it working for me? And then it's easy to blame yourself and think that it's not going to work for you. And I'm here to say, it's actually quite likely that simply you need more information and you need more guidance from an expert who has the experience and the knowledge to show you the way, to show you, yes, it's possible. I see thousands of cases that are clearing HPV, and I hope to reach even 1 million women around the world to say it's possible. We just need to get the right dosing and to address the root causes for you and to help you heal that relationship with yourself so that you can also clear HPV and be able to move forward in your life doing what you truly desire and doing it more healthy. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I host regularly a free workshop, and I would love for you to join me so you can learn more. Just go down below, you'll find the link, or go to drdani.com and you will find the information about the free workshop and other free resources that I offer, as well as my group online program to help clear HPV called Say Goodbye to HPV. And you can potentially work with me one-on-one if that's what you require and need and desire. I'd be happy to help you. And I look forward to connecting with all of you very soon in the next episode of How Humans Heal. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to How Humans Heal. If you liked this episode, leave a rating and a review. And for more resources, visit drdani.com.